The great star Zephyr burned dimmer each day. Once brilliant white, it now glowed with the pale yellow light of old age. From the royal palace on the planet Vorthak, King Voss watched the dying sun through massive crystal windows. His people had ruled 3 solar systems for 1,000 years, but now their home star was failing. Princess Nira sat in her tower room, staring at the untouched meal before her. The food looked perfect. Golden energy crystals sparkled on her plate next to carefully prepared mineral compounds. Her people had eaten this way for generations. Pure energy and minerals gave them strength and long life. But now everything tasted wrong. She pushed the plate away with thin fingers. Each day she grew weaker. Each day the food became harder to swallow. The dying star changed everything. Even the synthetic foods her people created no longer satisfied her. They tasted like dust and emptiness. "Princess, you must eat something," said Kyla, her closest friend and advisor. "The royal doctors are worried." Nira shook her head. "I cannot. Everything tastes like nothing. I would rather have nothing than this pretend food." Below in the palace, King Voss met with his council. "How many days has she refused to eat properly?" he asked. 12 days, Your Majesty," replied the royal doctor, Healer Zane. "She takes tiny bites to stay alive, but it is not enough. If this continues, we will lose her." The king's face grew dark with worry. He had tried everything. The best chefs in the empire could not make food she would eat. Scientists created new synthetic meals daily. Nothing worked. His daughter was slowly dying, and he felt helpless. "Perhaps we should send ships to other systems," suggested Commander Rex, head of the royal fleet. "There might be foods from other worlds that could help." "We have tried foods from 50 different worlds," the king replied. "Nothing interests her anymore." As they spoke, a message arrived from the outer system. "Your Majesty, a human diplomatic ship requests permission to land. They wish to discuss trade agreements." The king waved his hand tiredly. "Let them come. Though I care little for trade right now." The human ship Unity landed 3 days later. It was smaller than most Zephyrian vessels but built with clever design. Captain Lisa Park met with the king's advisors while her crew prepared for their stay on Vorthak. In the ship's kitchen, Sam Rodriguez finished preparing lunch for the crew. He had been cooking for space missions for 8 years. He loved his job because it let him bring comfort to people far from home. Sam always said that good food could solve many problems. As he cleaned up, Sam noticed several Zephyrian guards watching him work. They seemed curious about his methods. On their world, food preparation was simple. Mix energy crystals with mineral compounds. Heat if needed. Serve immediately. But Sam did things differently. He chopped vegetables with care. He tested his soup for flavor. He added spices one by one until everything tasted right. To the guards, this looked like magic. "Why do you do so many things to your food?" asked Guard Dex, the boldest of them. Sam smiled as he stirred a pot of stew. "Because food should make people happy, not just keep them alive. When someone eats my cooking, I want them to feel like someone cares about them." The guard looked confused. "Food is fuel. Why would it need to make people happy?" "On Earth, we believe cooking with love makes food taste better," Sam explained. "My grandmother taught me that. She said when you cook for someone, you put a piece of your heart in every dish." As they talked, Sam prepared to throw away the day's scraps. Bread crusts, leftover vegetables, and bones for making stock. The guards watched in horror as he headed toward the waste disposal. "You are throwing away food?" Guard Dex asked in shock. "Just scraps," Sam replied. "Though on Earth, even scraps get used. These would make good compost or soup stock. On our world, wasting any food is forbidden," Dex explained. "Especially now, when our princess grows weaker because she cannot eat." Sam stopped walking. Your princess cannot eat. Is she sick? The guards looked at each other nervously. Speaking of royal problems to outsiders could be dangerous. But Dex felt something different about this human. He seemed to truly care. She is not sick in body, Dex said quietly. But since our star began dying, all food tastes wrong to her. She grows thinner each day. The king fears we will lose her soon. Sam felt his heart grow heavy. He had a daughter back on Earth, about the same age as the princess. The thought of any father watching his child starve was painful to him. What does your food taste like? Sam asked. Energy crystals taste like bright light and power, Dex explained. Mineral compounds taste like earth and strength. But now the princess says they taste like ash and sadness. Sam nodded thoughtfully. On Earth, we have a saying. Sometimes the soul hungers for more than the body needs. That evening, Sam could not stop thinking about the princess. He had brought many ingredients from Earth for the long journey. Perhaps something from his world could help her. It was worth trying. The next morning, Sam woke early and began baking bread. He used his grandmother's recipe, one passed down through 5 generations. As the bread baked, its warm smell filled the kitchen. He had also brought honey from Earth, golden and sweet from bees that lived near his family's farm. When the bread finished baking, Sam wrapped it carefully and added a small jar of honey. The bread was still warm, soft on the inside with a crispy crust. It smelled like home and love and everything good about Earth. Sam found guard Dex during his morning shift. I have made something for your princess, he said, showing the wrapped bread. It is simple food from my world. Perhaps it might help her. Dex looked nervous. I cannot bring outsiders to the royal tower without permission. Then ask for permission, Sam replied. What is the worst that could happen? If she cannot eat it, nothing changes. But if it helps her, it could save her life. Dex thought for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. Wait here. I will speak to Commander Rex. An hour later, Sam found himself climbing the crystal stairs to Princess Neera's tower. His hands shook slightly as he carried the bread. He was just a cook from Earth, about to meet alien royalty. But he reminded himself that he was trying to help a father save his daughter. The tower room was beautiful but sad. Tall windows showed the dying star outside. Princess Neera sat by one window, wrapped in silken robes that seemed too large for her thin frame. She was indeed beautiful, with silver skin that caught the light and large eyes the color of deep space. But she looked tired and weak. Princess, guard Dex said softly. This human has brought food from his world. He hopes it might help you. Princess Neera turned slowly. She had seen humans before but never spoken to one. This man looked kind but nervous. In his hands, he held something that smelled unlike anything she had ever encountered. What is that smell? She asked. Her voice was soft but curious. Sam stepped forward carefully. It is bread, Princess. I baked it this morning using my grandmother's recipe. The smell comes from yeast and wheat and the warmth of baking. He unwrapped the bread, and the warm smell grew stronger. Princess Neera's eyes widened slightly. After months of food that smelled like nothing, this was amazing. How do you eat it? She asked. Sam broke off a piece of the soft bread. Like this. And if you wish, you can add honey. He opened the jar and drizzled golden honey over the bread. Honey comes from insects on my world called bees. They make it from flower nectar. Princess Neera took the piece of bread with careful fingers. It felt warm and soft, completely different from the hard crystals she usually ate. She brought it to her lips and took a small bite. The taste hit her like a gentle wave. First came the bread itself, nutty and complex with flavors that seemed to change as she chewed. Then the honey added sweetness that reminded her of flowers she had only seen in pictures. But most amazing of all, the food seemed to carry feelings inside it. Warmth, comfort, and something she could only call love. She took another bite, larger this time. Then another. For the first time in 3 months, Princess Neera felt truly hungry. She ate the entire piece of bread while Sam watched with growing hope. "How do you feel, Princess?" Guard Dex asked softly. "Different," she replied, wonder in her voice. "The taste changes as I eat it. First it is one thing, then another. And it makes me feel warm inside, not just in my stomach." Sam smiled. "That is what food should do. It should comfort your spirit as well as feed your body." Princess Neera looked at him with new interest. "Your people make all food like this?" "We try to," Sam replied. "On Earth, we believe that eating should be a joy, not just a necessity. We have thousands of different foods, each one created with care and creativity." Thousands? The princess could hardly imagine such variety. Her people had perhaps 20 different foods total. "Every region of Earth has its own special foods," Sam explained. "Some people eat with spices that make their mouths warm. Others prefer foods that are cold and sweet. We have foods for celebration and foods for comfort when we are sad." Princess Neera felt something she had not felt in months, excitement about eating. "Could you make more foods from your world?" "I would be honored to cook for you, Princess," Sam replied. "If your father permits it." News of the princess eating traveled quickly through the palace. King Voss rushed to her tower room to find his daughter looking more alive than she had in weeks. Color had returned to her silver skin, and her eyes held new light. "Father," she said as he entered. "The human has given me food that tastes like joy." King Voss looked at Sam with amazement and gratitude. "You have done what my best doctors could not do. How can I repay you?" "I need no payment, your majesty," Sam replied. "I have a daughter on Earth. Any father would do the same." "What is this miraculous food?" the king asked. "Just bread and honey, sire," Sam explained. "Simple ingredients prepared with care. But I believe the difference is not in what it is made from, but how it is made." The king looked confused. "How so?" Sam thought carefully about how to explain. "Your people eat for nutrition and energy. That is wise and practical. But humans learned long ago that food can feed more than just the body. When I bake bread, I think about the people who will eat it. I want them to feel cared for and happy." Princess Neera nodded eagerly. "I could taste the caring in the bread, father. It was like eating kindness." King Voss struggled to understand. His people had always focused on efficiency. Food was fuel, nothing more. But here was proof that the human approach could succeed where Zephyrian science had failed. "Would you be willing to prepare more meals for my daughter?" the king asked. "Of course," Sam replied. "Though I must return to my ship for ingredients. I brought many foods from Earth for our journey." "Take whatever guards you need," the king commanded. "And bring whatever you require. If this human food can heal my daughter, then it is more valuable than all the crystals in my treasury." As Sam left to gather ingredients, Princess Neera felt hope for the first time in months. The strange human had given her more than food. He had reminded her what it felt like to enjoy life again. In the palace kitchens, news spread quickly among the staff. The human cook had succeeded where everyone else had failed. Soon, many Zephyrians were curious about these mysterious earth foods that could heal their princess. Sam returned with bags full of ingredients. Flour, spices, vegetables, and preserved foods from Earth. As he unpacked them, Zephyrian cooks gathered to watch. They had never seen such variety. "This is only a small sample of Earth foods," Sam explained to the amazed cooks. "My people have been developing new recipes for thousands of years." As the day ended, Princess Neera felt strong enough to walk around her room for the first time in weeks. The simple bread and honey had awakened something in her that she thought was lost forever. Tomorrow, the human would cook for her again, and she looked forward to it with joy. Outside her window, the dying star continued its slow fade. But inside the crystal tower, hope burned bright once again. The next morning brought excitement throughout the royal palace. Princess Nira had slept peacefully for the first time in months, and servants whispered about the miracle human who had saved their princess with strange earth food. Sam arrived at the palace kitchens before dawn, carrying fresh supplies from his ship. The Zephyrian kitchen staff watched with curious eyes as he unpacked ingredients they had never seen before. Small round objects he called onions. Long orange vegetables named carrots. Dried leaves he claimed would add flavor to any dish. "Today I will make soup," Sam announced to the gathered cooks. "It is comfort food from my world. Perfect for someone who needs to regain strength." Head cook Mira stepped forward. She had managed the royal kitchens for 20 years and had never seen anything like Sam's ingredients. "How can these simple plants create the magic you gave our princess yesterday?" Sam smiled as he began chopping vegetables with practiced skill. "The magic is not in the ingredients alone. It comes from understanding how flavors work together and caring about the person who will eat the food." He placed a large pot on the cooking unit and added water. Then came the vegetables, cut into perfect pieces. The Zephyrian cooks watched in amazement as Sam added each ingredient at different times, explaining why timing mattered. "First the onions, because they need time to become sweet," he said, stirring gently. "Then carrots for color and natural sugar. Later I will add herbs for freshness and spices for warmth." Cook Mira leaned closer. "Your people truly believe that when you add ingredients changes the taste?" "Absolutely," Sam replied. "On Earth, we have studied cooking for thousands of years. We learned that the same ingredients can create completely different foods depending on how you combine them." As the soup simmered, its smell filled the kitchen. The Zephyrian staff had never experienced anything like it. Their foods had no smell beyond the faint mineral scent of their usual crystals and compounds. Young assistant cook Finn spoke up nervously. "Cook Sam, why does your food create these amazing smells? Our food has never done this." Sam tasted his soup and added a pinch of salt. Cooking releases hidden flavors locked inside ingredients. Heat changes the structure of food and creates new tastes and smells. My grandmother used to say that a kitchen without good smells is like a garden without flowers. Cook Mira shook her head in wonder. "Your people speak of food like we speak of art or music." "Because it is art and music," Sam replied. "Good cooking pleases all the senses. You see beautiful colors, smell wonderful aromas, feel different textures, and taste amazing flavors. Some foods even make pleasant sounds when you eat them." As Sam finished the soup, Princess Nira entered the kitchen. This surprised everyone, as royalty rarely visited the cooking areas. But the princess had felt drawn by the incredible smells drifting through the palace. "Princess," Cook Mira said with a quick bow. "You should not be in these work areas." "I wanted to see how the human creates such wonderful food," Nira replied, her eyes fixed on Sam's cooking. "The smells reached my tower room and made me hungry again." Sam ladled the soup into a beautiful bowl and offered it to the princess. "This is vegetable soup, princess. It contains many ingredients working together to create something new." Nira took the bowl carefully. The soup was bright orange with pieces of green herbs floating on top. Steam rose from the surface, carrying smells that made her mouth water. She took a small sip and her eyes grew wide. "The taste keeps changing as I drink it," she said in amazement. "First I taste sweetness from the carrots. Then earth flavors from other vegetables. Finally, warmth from the spices. How is this possible?" "Because each ingredient adds its own flavor to the whole," Sam explained. "Like musicians playing together in harmony. Alone, each is good. Together, they create something magical." Princess Nira finished the entire bowl while the kitchen staff watched in delight. Color continued to return to her silver skin, and she stood straighter than she had in weeks. Sam, she said thoughtfully. On your world, do all people eat food like this? Most try to, Sam replied. Though some are better cooks than others. We believe that everyone deserves food that brings them joy, not just nutrition. Could you teach our cooks to make food this way? The princess asked. I would be honored to share what I know, Sam said. Though it will take time to learn. Human cooking methods developed over thousands of years. Word of the princess's recovery spread beyond the palace. Citizens gathered in the streets, celebrating news that their beloved princess was growing stronger each day. They also whispered in wonder about the human who had accomplished this miracle through simple food. King Voss called for a meeting with his advisors. This human has done more than heal my daughter, he said to the assembled council. He has shown us something we never knew we were missing. Commander Rex nodded agreement. The princess has more energy now than she has shown in months. She walks through the palace, talks with servants, and seems truly happy for the first time since our star began failing. How do we repay such a gift? The king wondered aloud. Perhaps, suggested royal advisor Zara, we should learn more about human food culture. If this knowledge helped our princess, it might benefit our entire people. The king agreed and ordered his staff to invite Sam for a formal audience. That afternoon, Sam found himself in the great throne room, nervous but honored to address Zephyrian royalty. Sam of Earth, King Voss said formally. You have saved my daughter's life and brought hope back to our palace. How can the Zephyrian Empire repay this debt? Sam bowed respectfully. Your Majesty, I need no payment. Helping your daughter was reward enough. But if you truly wish to honor me, allow me to teach your people what I know about cooking. Food should bring joy to everyone, not just royalty. The king looked surprised. Most people who helped royalty asked for gold or titles or land. This human wanted only to share knowledge. You would teach our cooks your methods freely, the king asked. Yes, sire, Sam replied. On Earth, we believe knowledge grows when it is shared. The more people who can cook well, the happier everyone becomes. Princess Nira stepped forward from her place beside the throne. Father, I would like to learn as well. This human knowledge fascinates me. The king hesitated. Princesses did not usually learn cooking, as it was considered work for servants. But his daughter looked healthier and happier than she had in months. Very well, he decided. Let all who wish to learn be welcome in the kitchens. If human food wisdom can heal my daughter, perhaps it can strengthen our entire civilization. Over the following weeks, Sam became the busiest person in the palace. Each day brought new students eager to learn about earth cooking. He taught them to bake bread, make soups, prepare roasted vegetables, and create simple desserts. Princess Nira proved to be his most eager student. She learned to knead bread dough, chop vegetables evenly, and season food by taste rather than measurement. As she cooked, she asked endless questions about earth food culture. On your world, do families cook together? She asked while stirring a pot of stew. Often, Sam replied. Many of my happiest childhood memories involve cooking with my mother and grandmother. They taught me that preparing food together brings families closer. We have never done this, Nira admitted. Royal families eat together, but we have never cooked together. Food preparation was always left to servants. Perhaps that could change, Sam suggested gently. Cooking together creates special bonds between people. It is one way humans show love for each other. As days passed, changes spread throughout the palace. Servants who learned Sam's methods began creating their own variations of his recipes. The smell of baking bread became common in the morning. Laughter echoed from the kitchens as people discovered the joy of cooking together. Cook Mira approached Sam one afternoon with excitement. I have been experimenting with your methods, she said. I tried adding our native crystal dust to your bread recipe. It created a beautiful blue color and added nutrients without changing the wonderful taste. Sam examined her blue bread with interest. "This is exactly what should happen," he said proudly. "Good cooking methods can be adapted to any ingredients. You are becoming a true chef." The success in the palace caught attention throughout the kingdom. Other noble families requested human cooking lessons. Merchants began asking about earth spices and ingredients. The simple act of sharing food knowledge was creating connections between humans and Zephyrians that had never existed before. Princess Nera suggested hosting a great feast to celebrate these new friendships. "We should invite people from across the empire to taste these wonderful foods," she told her father. "Let everyone see what humans have taught us." King Voss agreed, and plans began for the largest royal feast in decades. Cooks from every province were invited to learn Sam's methods and create dishes combining human techniques with local ingredients. The feast preparation took 2 weeks. Sam worked alongside dozens of Zephyrian cooks, teaching them to prepare foods they had never imagined. Bread in 20 different shapes and flavors. Soups that changed color as you ate them. Desserts that sparkled like stars. Princess Nera learned to make her favorite dish, honey cakes that reminded her of the first bread Sam had shared with her. As she worked, she realized how much her life had changed. Food was no longer something she endured but something she looked forward to each day. On the night of the great feast, the royal hall filled with guests from across the empire. The tables held foods that amazed everyone who saw them. Colors and smells and textures that no Zephyrian had ever experienced before. King Voss stood to address the gathering. "Honored guests," he began, "tonight we celebrate more than food. We celebrate the power of sharing knowledge across worlds. A simple human cook has taught us that nourishment can feed the spirit as well as the body." He gestured toward Sam, who sat at the high table beside Princess Nera. "Sam of Earth, you came here as a stranger on a diplomatic mission. You leave as a friend who has enriched our entire civilization." The king then announced his decision to establish a permanent cultural exchange between Earth and the Zephyrian Empire. Young Zephyrians would travel to Earth to study human food culture, while Earth chefs would come to Zephyria to learn about their advanced nutrition science. Together, the king declared, "Our peoples will create food traditions that benefit everyone." As the feast continued late into the night, Princess Nera spoke quietly with Sam. "You have given me more than my health," she said. "You have shown me that life can be beautiful even when times are difficult." "That is what good food does," Sam replied. "It reminds us that there is always something to enjoy, even in darkness." The princess looked out at the celebration around them. Zephyrians and humans laughed together as they shared strange new foods. Children tried ingredients they had never seen before. Old enemies became friends over shared meals. "Your people have a gift," she told Sam. "You turn necessity into art. You make the ordinary extraordinary. This is why humans are special in the galaxy." Sam smiled as he watched a group of Zephyrian children try ice cream for the first time, their faces lighting up with wonder and joy. "We just believe that everything can be improved with creativity and care," he said. "Even something as simple as eating." Months later, when Sam finally returned to Earth, he carried with him friendship treaties and trade agreements that would benefit both worlds for generations. But more importantly, he carried the knowledge that sometimes the greatest victories come not from weapons or technology, but from sharing the simple joys that make life worth living. Princess Nera never forgot the lessons Sam taught her. She established cooking schools throughout the empire and made sure that every Zephyrian child learned that food could be both nourishment and celebration. Under her guidance, their civilization discovered that survival was not enough, true success meant finding happiness in daily life. The dying star continued its slow fade, but the Zephyrian people no longer feared the future. They had learned from humans that even in difficult times, there were always reasons to gather together, share good food, and celebrate the connections that make life meaningful. And in kitchens across 3 solar systems, the smell of baking bread reminded everyone that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe is simply caring enough to feed others well.